All right, let's jump right into one of the most mind-blowing teachings in all of Buddhism, something straight out of the Lotus Sutra. This is a big one. It's a revelation that changes absolutely everything you think you know about the Buddha's life and, well, even his death.
You know the story, right? We've all heard it. The prince who walks away from a palace, finds enlightenment, teaches the world, and then passes away. But what if that whole story was a performance, a kind of cosmic play designed to teach us something much, much deeper? That's the puzzle we're piecing together today.
Okay, so before we get to the really wild part, let's just do a quick refresher on the story we all know, the classic tale of Siddhartha Gautama. You kind of need to have the official version clear in your head to really appreciate just how profound the secret history is.
Yep, this is the one. A prince is born into luxury. He sees the world suffering, gives it all up, and seeks the truth. He finally achieves supreme enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He then spends the next 40 decades or so teaching what he learned. And when his work is done, he passes into final nirvana. A perfect, complete story arc, from birth to death. Or so it seems. Okay, hang on tight because this is where the Lotus Sutra flips the entire script. In a key moment, the Buddha gathers his most trusted disciples and he tells them he's about to reveal something huge. He knows it's going to be hard to believe, so he literally asks them 3 times to trust him, to accept that what he's about to say are his sincere and true words.
And then he drops this bombshell. He says, you know that whole enlightenment moment under the tree? That wasn't the beginning. Not even close. He says he actually attained Buddhahood an incomprehensibly long time ago. So think about what that means. The life they all witnessed, the prince, the struggle, all of it, was just one appearance. He was already a Buddha when he was born.
So you can imagine, his followers are just stunned. Their minds literally can't grasp a timescale that vast. So the Buddha, being the master teacher he is, says, okay, I get it. Let me try to give you a sense of just how long we're talking about. And what comes next is one of the most brain-melting thought experiments ever recorded.
So get ready for this. He says to imagine taking 500 quintillion worlds. That's a 5 followed by 20 zeros. Basically, countless galaxies worth of worlds. And grinding every single planet, every star, every moon, down into a mountain of superfine dust.
Now take one single speck of that cosmic dust. Then you travel an impossible distance, past another 500 quintillion worlds, and you drop off that one tiny particle. And then you go back, get another speck, and repeat that journey, over and over again, until that entire mountain of ground-up universes is gone, one particle at a time. The amount of time that would pass, that is what the sutra calls one single kalpa, or eon.
And just when you think your brain can't take any more, here comes the real punchline. The Buddha says that enormous, unimaginable length of time you just calculated, the time since I actually became a Buddha, is hundreds of thousands of countless eons longer than that. I mean, our minds just can't hold that number. He is, for all practical purposes, eternal.
Which, of course, leads us to the biggest question of all. If he's an eternal being who's always been here, then why the show? Why pretend to be born, to struggle, and most importantly, why pretend to die and enter nirvana if you're never really gone?
See, the sutra shows us there are 2 levels of truth happening at once. There's the apparent reality, the story acted out for the world. But underneath that is the ultimate truth. He has always been enlightened, he is always present, and he never really leaves. The reason for this performance is a profound Buddhist concept called skillful means. The Buddha explains it like this. If people knew he was always around, forever accessible, they'd just take him for granted. They'd get complacent. I'll get serious about my spiritual practice later. The Buddha's not going anywhere. By presenting a finite life, one with a beginning and an end, he creates a sense of urgency. It makes us feel how rare and precious this chance to learn really is. His apparent death is the ultimate wake-up call to get serious, right now.
And to really drive this point home, he tells one of the most famous parables in all of Buddhism. It's a story about a wise doctor and his sick children, and it perfectly illustrates this idea of compassionate action that might look like deception on the surface.
So the story goes, a physician's sons accidentally drink some poison while he's out of town. Their minds become completely diluted. The father rushes home, whips up the perfect antidote, but in their delirium, they refuse to take it. So seeing this, the father comes up with a plan. He leaves on another journey. A little while later, a messenger arrives and announces, "Your father is dead." The shock and grief of this news sobers the sons up. They suddenly realize they're all alone, and this medicine their father left behind is their only hope. They take it and they're cured. And only when the father knows that they're well does he finally return.
After telling this story, the Buddha asks his disciples the key question. So, what do you think? Can anyone say that this good physician is guilty of a falsehood for lying about his own death to save his children?
And the answer, of course, is a definite no. His action wasn't a malicious lie. It was an act of profound wisdom and compassion. That so-called lie was actually a skillful strategy, the only one that could break through their confusion and save their lives. And this brings us right back to the Buddha himself. That parable isn't just some nice story. It's a direct explanation of his own actions. He is the physician. And we're like the children, often too deluded by the poisons of the world to take the medicine of his teachings when it's offered freely.
So this is the heart of it all, this concept of skillful means. It means that a truly compassionate teacher uses whatever method is necessary to help a student based on their specific situation and mindset. The goal is never to deceive. The goal is always, 100% of the time, to lead them out of suffering and toward enlightenment.
And right here, the Buddha makes the connection undeniable. He says, I am like that physician. My apparent passing into nirvana is just like the doctor faking his death. It's a compassionate act designed to wake us up to how precious this path is. But the secret is, he doesn't actually go anywhere.
So the huge takeaway from all of this is that the life story of the Buddha isn't just a historical biography, it's a living teaching. It's an expression of compassion that isn't locked in the past. According to this teaching, the Buddha's compassionate activity is constant, ongoing, and always available to those who look for it.
And we'll end with this powerful thought. The Buddha isn't presented as some distant figure in a history book, but as an active, wise guide who is always aware of what we need, tailoring his lessons to help each of us in our own unique way. And that really leaves you with a question, doesn't it? If the teacher never actually left the classroom, how does that change the way we approach the lesson?